Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about the Xbox Series S. In the video I will review the Xbox Series S, give some pros and some cons, whether you should buy it or not. And in the end I will give my personal opinion about the Xbox Series S. So, first there is this question if the Xbox Series S is really a next-gen console. I myself ask this question a lot because it is really important right now, because the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are not available in many countries. They are out of stock and you cannot buy them. So for people to play next gen, in order to play next gen, many people have to consider buying the Xbox Series S. And many people also consider buying the Xbox Series S even if PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X are in stock, because it's just cheaper. And why should I pay more money for a console when I can get it for cheaper and play almost the same games? But the question here is it really next gen? Like, is it really on par with PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? Is it really on the same level? So, if we have to speak technically, specifications, no, it is not on the same level on the PS5 nor on the Xbox Series X. Is it the next gen? Well, it is next gen. It has the main features that the Xbox Series X has. For example, it has a solid state drive, and therefore your games load really fast. So it has almost instant loading. The cold start of Xbox Series S is really fast, like the Xbox Series X. It has the same. It works same. It looks same in the inside, and the user interface is the same. The controller is the same, and because you have solid state drive, you get quick resume and the velocity architecture that the Xbox Series X has, the Xbox Series S has too. So in the point where you are, it is on the same level with solid state drive and the loading times. But it has a difference in that point, that the Xbox Series has only 500 gigs, while the PlayStation 5, I think it has 1 terabyte, and the Xbox Series X has also 1 terabyte, while you get only 500 gigs with the Series S, and I will talk about that later too. Plus, Microsoft said that they stated that this console is designed for 1440p gaming with up to 120 FPS. Yes, some games work at 120 FPS right now, not all. Like Cold War, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, that works at 120 FPS. But some games just work at 30, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I mean, the console itself is capable of running 120 FPS, but not all games are optimized to run at 120 FPS. While the Xbox Series X is designed for 4K, native 4K, 60 FPS, I think, 60 FPS gaming. So it means the target groups of these two consoles are different. One is like for the person that plays 1440p, has like a small monitor with 1440p resolution, and the other is for someone that says like, oh, I want to play it at 4K and 60 FPS, like that has a 4K monitor or 4K television with HDR and stuff. If you look at the specs, the CPU in the Series X and in the Series S are almost the same. They're almost the same. but the GPU is a lot less powerful in the Series S. And this is because, and some people may think, hey, it has less GPU, so it is less, it's a lot worse than the Xbox Series X. Not very true. It is somehow to a kind of, to a degree true, but not totally, because Xbox Series S is, as I said, designed for 1440, while the Series X is for 4K. So one needs more rendering power, one needs more resolution. So that's that is the reason why the GPU is less powerful. The RAM also with the Xbox Series X has 16 gigs, while the Xbox Series S 10 gigs only. Both of those consoles, X and S, have full backwards compatibility, which means you can play the Xbox Series S X games, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and the OG Xbox games. The cons of the Xbox Series S. Why would I not recommend buying this console? I personally own this console, and these things bother me a lot. For example, it has a really small storage. It has 500 gigs, but the problem is Microsoft does not tell you that this console comes only with 370 instead of 500 gigs, because 130 gigs are, I think, reserved for system. So you only have 370 gigs, which means you can download 4 to 5 games and have them downloaded at the same time. So if you want to play a different game, you have to delete and reinstall and delete and reinstall all the time. For people that have slower network, for slower uh, networks at home or Wi-Fi, it is a big problem, because for people like me, my Wi-Fi is really slow at home, and if I want to play a game, I have to think which game I should delete, and if I want to play the game I deleted, I will have to download it and wait 1 to 2 days to play it. And another con is that some games work less less good than, like, worse than on the Xbox Series X. Like, they stated originally that the only difference will be for like 1440 and 4K. But in some games that's not quite the case, because for AC Valhalla and Cyberpunk 2077 you get only 30 FPS, while on the Series X you get a smooth 60 FPS. I mean, on the Xbox Series X you can turn it to 30 FPS for Cyberpunk 2077 when you have the quality mode on. Another bad thing is, another con is that you don't have a drive. Why should that be bad? We live in a time where everything is digital. Right, I mean, you're kinda right, but let's say you want to play a game. Like, some game comes out and you're like, oh my god, I want to play this. And you want to buy it. Yeah, the problem is, on the in Microsoft Store, the game is almost all the time at $70 capped. So it doesn't go down or up. It's like $70 for one game, like Cyberpunk 2077. If I may give an example, I wanted to play the Cyberpunk 2077 a lot, and because the Series S does not have a drive, I had to buy it from the Microsoft Store. I paid $70. If I had a Series X with a drive, I could have bought the game in a store near to the place where I live, and it cost $30. Like, I could have saved $40, but yeah, I mean, if you're not someone that says I can wait, then it's not a problem, because Microsoft Store has good discounts, good sales, but not always the games you want. So you sometimes have to wait for a game to come down or have a discount or sale, so you have to pay less. Or if you say you don't mind, you don't buy specific games, Xbox has something amazing. Microsoft has something amazing. That's like a huge pro, like huge. It has the Game Pass. I owned the PlayStation 4 before my Xbox Series S, and I had the PlayStation Now and EA Play, and I paid, I think, about $9 for PlayStation Now and 4 or 5 for EA Play. Like I paid $14, $15, for the games, to play the games, for the subscription. And it didn't even have a lot of good AAA games. While the Game Pass, you pay, I think, I'm not sure, I don't want to say a wrong number, but I will have it in a description how much it costs. You have so many AAA games, so many indies, so many, like you have everything from Forza Horizon to you get, I forgot right now. I will put some games that are in the Game Pass in the description below, like some AAA games. But there are a lot you can play, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for that. So it's really great. And if you have the Ultimate Game Pass, you get gold, like you can play online. You get the Game Pass, and if you have the Ultimate, you can even play on your PC if you have a PC. So in comparison to PlayStation 4, if I should compare it, the PlayStation Now costs $9, and you have to buy PlayStation Gold, I think, or I don't know what it's called, like the thing you have to buy to play online. You have to pay for that extra. While on the Xbox, you don't have to. So, all in all, the Xbox Series S is a really strong console. It's like a really powerful console. It has a small amount, small, really, really like minimal ray tracing. It has all the next gen features like the solid state drive, the instant loading, the quick resume. And for people that don't know what quick resume is a feature on the Xbox Series S. Let's say you're playing NBA 2K and you're like, hey, I want to play Forza, or I want to play GTA. You press the home button, start Forza, or let's say start GTA, and you play GTA. And you're like, oh, after 1 hour, I want to play NBA again. You press the home button, press on NBA 2K, and it starts from where you stopped playing, where you paused. Like, it takes like 10 seconds, I don't know, I'm just guessing, 5 to 10 to at max 15 seconds, and it loads up from where you stopped. Like, you could have stopped in the middle of a game, you will play from the middle of the game, you will continue from there. So it's a really nice feature. The main problems, though, are storage. That's right now a big problem, and that it has no drive. So I would recommend this console for people that really want to play the new games, like AC Valhalla or Cyberpunk or games like that, but don't have the money to buy, for example, a PC, or the money for an Xbox Series X, or they can't find it. So I would recommend it for people that want to save money, or are like not really hardcore gamers, for people that are like, I don't mind if it's 4K, or I don't mind if it's not at 120 FPS, instead just 30 or 60. In my case, it's a perfect console, because I don't mind if it's 4K. I don't mind if it's 60 FPS. Like, 30 is enough for me. And my main reason was to buy this console was to play Cyberpunk 2077, and I had a PlayStation 4 before that. Catastrophe. I couldn't play it. And a problem was I didn't have enough money to afford myself a PC where I can play the game, but at the same time, there were no Xbox X or PlayStation 5 available, so I was like, what can I do? I can't buy a PC, can't buy a PS5 or Xbox Series X. I was like, why not give it a shot? Why not buy the Series S? So I'm happy for now, and I would think I will be happy for at least 1 to 2 years with my console. And it was a good decision. It was a nice, it's a nice console, and all in all, I would say it depends. I would neither recommend to buy nor not to buy. It really depends on the player, on the person that buys it, you know. And if you have any other questions about the Series S or any games you want to be tested on the Series S and gameplay, please leave them in the comments down below. And see you in the next video.